Today on DNVR Buffs Live, just how good is Coach Prime in Colorado's cornerback trio? Is it the best in the country? And already the narrative has begun to shift on Shedeur Sanders. What a surprise. Let's get into it right now on DNVR Buffs Live. Coming to you live from Toyota Lounge here in beautiful Denver, Colorado. It's DNVR Buffs Live. RK and Scotty got you covered today. And we got a lot to talk about, Scotty.
Squatting here. What's the word, my boy? How you feeling?
All right, I forgot the...
What's to you, bro? What's up with you
I
already?
mean, bro. You gotta give me a break here. I just came off another show.
You did. Back
Ran
to back.
upstairs, scarfed a lunch.
Yeah, that was impressive,
and then
bro.
came back down here. So let's try this again. Will you bring up that graphic again? All right, here we go. Let's go.
Squad.
See, man, Jake leaves for a couple days. We start to lose our way.
Yeah, we just get to act in any old kind of way, bro.
It's true. It's true. Anyways, I really just wanted to get in the Toyota Lounge part. Forgot about everything else. It's funny, Scott, that we talked yesterday about how the narrative will change. It always does. It's all about ebbs and flows in the draft cycle.
Yeah.
And it's already shifting when it comes to Shedeur Sanders.
Of course. Man, I think I'm ready to say something about this.
Ooh, let's go. I know you've been brewing on this.
Can I get a one shot on me? Just so I can say this just for later purposes. I think Shedeur Sanders is going to be a Cleveland Brown come April. Shedeur Sanders will be a Cleveland Brown. I believe that's the team that likes him the most. I believe when they're on the board at number 2, they're going to run up as quick as they can to hand that card in that says Shedeur Sanders' name for a few different reasons. Let's dive into it. I've already talked about almost ad nauseum the fact that I think that the Browns are a great fit for Shedeur Sanders. Some people disagree. We'll kind of get into it, but the first thing that makes me think that is what Adam Schefter reported probably about a week and a half ago when he goes, one of the things he feels most confident about in this draft is the fact that the Cleveland Browns are going to select the quarterback at number 2 overall, right? That makes you think. That perks your ears up, right?
Yep.
And then yesterday I read Matthew Berry, who is now at NBC Sports, formerly at ESPN. You probably know him. He's kind of an OG in the game, more on the fantasy football side, but obviously he dabbles in real football. And obviously he has sources throughout the league that go back, years and decades and whatnot. He published yesterday his top 25 most interesting things he heard at the NFL Combine. And one of the things he wrote about was about Shedeur Sanders and the fact that he kind of reiterated what we talked about a lot yesterday, that he heard some things that
definitely the same 2 people that talked to Todd McShay talked to him.
Same 2 people. Matthew Berry also heard those things. But what Matthew Berry also wrote was that the one team that he did hear that liked Sanders was Cleveland. They like Ward as well, but they would be good with either. So despite the Browns currently being the favorite for Travis Hunter, everything he heard was that Cleveland is going quarterback and they would be good with either guy. And then we hear Mary Kay Cabot, who is as plugged in, as tuned in to the Cleveland Browns as one can be for damn near 2 decades, at this point. Yesterday, she wrote about Shedeur Sanders a little bit. She goes, the Browns first met with Sanders one-on-one at the East-West Shrine Bowl in January and came away impressed. They didn't find him to be arrogant or brash, but confident and engaging. They liked all the good things his Hall of Fame dad poured into him, but appreciated that he's his own man. He exhibited leadership qualities they're looking for in a quarterback. So did Cam Ward, who they also like a lot. Mary goes on to say that the Browns will get to know Sanders a lot better this week during visit to cross-country mortgage campus, and will attend his pro day at Colorado, obviously. But nothing happened in the combine to change their good first impression of Shedeur. In fact, which was a bar right here, it only confirmed that one man's brash is another man's treasure.
Ooh.
That was fire, right? Mary Kay cooking.
Damn.
That was fire.
Let her cook.
And then when you think about the fact that, again, Kevin Stefanski, who I'm a big fan of, a two-time NFL Coach of the Year, a two-time NFL Head Coach of the Year, obviously has ties to Pat Shurmur. Back in 2017, when Pat Shurmur was the offensive coordinator, the coordinator of the year in the NFL, by the way, in 2017 with the Minnesota Vikings, who was his quarterback coach?
Pat Shurmur.
Kevin Stefanski was Shurmur's quarterback coach, 100%. And we know, or at least we've heard what Pat Shurmur feels and knows about Shedeur Sanders, obviously. And I just think this is a place. And obviously, we talked about, again, we go into the fit. I would love the idea of Kevin Stefanski coaching, Shedeur Sanders. He's done it with multiple quarterbacks. He's done it with Joe Flacco. You know what I'm saying? He's done it with, obviously, Baker Mayfield back in 2020 when they won a playoff game. And obviously here recently it's been a bit tough go of it at the quarterback spot. But Shedeur Sanders, in terms of his ability to process, make throws, and win from the pocket, that's what Kevin Stefanski's offenses kind of thrive on. We talked to our guy Thomas Dimitroff at the Super Bowl in New Orleans. He told us the best thing you can do to support a rookie quarterback is give him a good tight end.
Yeah.
The Browns have one of the best tight ends in the NFL, one of the most productive tight ends in the NFL over the last few years. Jerry Jeudy's a good, obviously, really good starting point at receiver. They really like the young guy Tillman as well. I like him as well. He's going to grow. So I'm there with it.
There it is.
I think Shedeur's a Cleveland Brown, bro.
March 5th, 2025. Mark it down. Scotty called his shot. Shedeur Sanders would be a Cleveland Brown. I have many mixed feelings about that. But I'm just going to move on.
And I'll say one more thing, too. If Shedeur doesn't go number 2 to Cleveland, I think the Giants will be there at number 3 with their arms wide open.
Yes.
Like, come home. And they'll be very happy as well.
And by the way, I have said for a long time that he's going number 1. Mm-hmm. And there's a report that came out of Tennessee from, let me make sure I get this right, Teron Davenport.
Yep.
At T Davenport NFL, who hit me with the follow. So shout out to him for that.
Go crazy.
Said this, quote, Shedeur Sanders has made quite an impression. I've talked to 4 people on staff. They all say he's been pleasant to work with and willing to do whatever they ask of him. They left the meeting impressed with his mature and relaxed nature. And that, both of those reports, the one from Mary Kay and the one here from Teron Davenport, both of them underscore to me people who have actually talked to Shedeur Sanders.
Exactly, bro.
Because that's exactly the impression I came away with the first time I ever had a real conversation with Shedeur. I'll never forget it. It was about 2 weeks before the game against TCU. Mm-hmm. And he overheard me, Jake, and Unk having a conversation about TCU and how they can't play man coverage against this offense. And he just jumped in and started just cooking. And that was the first time I ever said, like, you give me too much time to prepare for a team, I'm going to go crazy.
Period.
And he was right about that. But I came away from that conversation, honestly, maybe more than anything with those 2 words, mature and relaxed. This is a guy who's about to play his first ever Power 5 football game.
A lot of pressure on that young man at that point in time.
A lot of pressure. And he was talking, through all of the X's and O's of football, and was obviously very confident as part of what makes him who he is.
Yeah.
But also so relaxed and just, like, I've had too much time. I'm going to cook him.
And boy, did he.
Set a school record at the University of Colorado for passing yards in a game in his first ever appearance in the uniform. It's funny because I thought it would take weeks for this tide to turn. It's already turning, and I think that it just shows that there was certainly people with either an axe to grind or a angle to work. We'll probably never know who it came from and why, but it's disappointing because the negative stuff always shines so much louder than the positive stuff. And, there is a lot of love and support out there for Shedeur. I mean, my tweet about him yesterday, it popped off of him shaking everyone on our production staff's hand after the Super Bowl interview. That got 10,000 likes, but half of the responses are people trying to undo it and trying to say, "Oh yeah, he knew the camera was rolling." when he's behind the scenes with NFL GMs, the camera's not rolling, so he doesn't have to act that way. And I'm just like, how stupid do you have to be to think that if he's so smart to know that when the camera's rolling, he has to act a certain way, that he wouldn't be able to then think that same thing in a meeting with NFL executives. He doesn't ever act a certain way.
No.
He just is himself all the time. Every interaction I've ever had with him, he didn't change one bit.
Same, bro.
And I guarantee you that's the way that he's walking into these interviews. And yes, like I said the other day, someone might not like that. It's fine. Move along.
Yes.
But to act like, I have such a hard time believing, unless Shedeur had an angle to work, that he would walk into a room and be like, no, I don't know. What's your next question? Like, he's going to be engaging and
every time
mature and locked in like he always is.
And that's well said, bro. A lot of different things coming out. Like, negativity, bro, is always going to go farther than positivity. That's always going to get more attention. Negativity is than positivity. That's just how the world works, how social media works nowadays. And when you're talking about he's always the same person, I noticed it the first time, or it really crystallized for me with Shedeur after losses. And obviously, losing is never easy, especially when you're the quarterback and whenever you do lose, especially on a national stage, like how Colorado played every game, there's going to be a lot of noise. Every time in every post-game presser after a loss, Shedeur, to me, was very much accountable. He answered, like you said, every question. I mean, sometimes I couldn't really tell if it was a win or a loss. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you just objectively look at the post-game presser, it'd be hard for you to tell whether that was a win or a loss that he's speaking after, which, again, that's something that is going to go a long way in the NFL, especially if you're going to be drafted near the top of the draft. It's probably going to be tough in terms of wins, losses that first year, maybe in your first couple years. But I think he's the face of a franchise, somebody who can, kind of ride you through some tough times and obviously help you get to where you want to go as a franchise as well. And then just kind of finishing up here too, on Shedeur, I meant to get to this yesterday, but Jordan Reed put out his latest mock draft on ESPN. He actually has the Giants trading up to number 1 with Tennessee to take Cam Ward at number 1 overall. The Giants doing that. And then he has Shedeur going number 2 to Cleveland. And in his blurb, he goes, Sanders is a picture-perfect fit as a polished pocket passer with toughness and excellent ball placement, traits of quarterbacks who have excelled in Kevin Stefanski's scheme. Sanders has been in the spotlight his entire life and would welcome the challenge of boosting the Browns' last-place scoring offense.
I couldn't get past the fact that there was a sentence in there where 5 out of 6 words started with a P.
Saying that was low-key a struggle for me to say out that direct.
Perfect. What was it?
A picture-perfect fit as a polished pocket passer. Say that 5 times in a row.
He should have switched fit for pick. Picture-perfect pick as a polished pocket passer.
Oh, with excellent ball placement. Yeah, that's crazy. But I think that's the spot, man. And again, I think Kevin Stefanski is the coach, and I think Andrew Berry also is the GM who can help Shedeur reach his ceiling, what we think he can be in the NFL for sure.
Yeah. I just love that it's already turned. We're already moving back towards where we need to be. And in the end, we will land at the place where we started, which is Shedeur is a top 3 pick.
Yes.
And that's just how it's going to be.
100%.
There was one more thing that I wanted to mention on this. Oh, 2 more things, actually. First of all, talking about my post that went kind of viral yesterday, which was actually just repurposing a post that you went kind of viral with, but I knew it was perfect time to bring it back.
It was.
I had some responses on there that were just very disappointing to me because they came from people claiming to be Buffs fans. And it was like Shedeur needs to learn to be when to turn on and turn off his arrogance. Yep. And in my section at Buffs games, it was all people talked about. First of all, my
your reply went crazy too.
First of all, my bullshit radar was up, and I almost wanted to just be like, "This is just a bot. Ignore." But if that's true, it's really disappointing to me, and it can only have come from one very small section of the stadium full of old white people.
Yeah.
Because I know in my section, everyone loves Shedeur.
Yeah.
And, I ended up loving my section. There's a lot of people around me, including old white people.
Y'all section look lit every week.
Yeah, who are having, we became friends. We're talking, we're having conversations 6 rows across. Everyone kind of vibe. So it's not just the 3 people around me I'm talking about. Of course everyone loves Shedeur. And you want to know who loved Shedeur the most is the student section.
Yeah.
All the stuff that he does to bring energy to the game, to put on a show, which is what this is. It's entertainment. He brings entertainment, and those guys love it. You walk around campus, there's dudes throwing up the Shedeur.
Yes.
So I just didn't like that because the post went so big that so many people read that reply.
Right.
And I don't want us as a fan base to have that reputation that we think Shedeur is arrogant or anything like that. Shedeur is a baller who's really confident in himself. Go look at the greatest player, and I'm not saying he's going to be the Kobe Bryant of the NFL, but look at Kobe. Look at MJ. Look at John Elway. Talk to people about John Elway as a player.
Yeah.
They'll tell you he was an asshole.
You got to have a little bit of that in you when you want to succeed at the highest level of American sports. It's just the fact of the matter. That's what history tells us.
Yes, and people follow really, really confident people.
Yes.
If you lack any sort of confidence in yourself, true dogs will sniff it out in a second.
From a mile away, bro.
Yes. And so Shedeur is a dog, and his confidence is part of what carries him to be great. And real people understand that and know it.
Bro, it just made me, when you were talking about, some of his antics during the game and how the student section especially loves it. I'll never forget, bro, that first touchdown he threw against NDSU in week 1, and they immediately played perfect timing over the stadium speakers, bro. I damn near lost it. I was like, bro, this is the coolest shit I've ever experienced at a college football game, bro. And obviously, I'm up in the booth. I'm trying to stay objective. I'm looking around. I'm
Goosebumps.
do y'all hear? Nobody else is you feel me, feeling how I'm feeling. I'm like, bro, this is lit, bro. This is literally what college football is about, bro. If you don't see a star, if that isn't cool to you, bro, and I was gonna say this earlier, bro. If you meet with Shedeur Sanders, if you spend enough time interacting with him, or even if you just see him from afar and you come away from him thinking that he's brash or arrogant, like some of the reports have come out, or that's just the gist that you get, I think it says more about you than it says about Shedeur Sanders, because that's further from the truth. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like it just plays on your insecurities as a human being. If you look at that confident young man, and it elicits kind of bad feelings in your body.
And John Wick said he's a dog, but not an a-hole. I don't think he is either. In fact, I don't think his teammates would feel that way either. But I'm just saying, some of the greats were considered an a-hole.
I mean,
by their teammates.
Jordan,
yes,
is the greatest example.
Yes,
100%.
And Nathan McKinnon with the Avs.
Yeah,
people. There's stories of
Brady. At times,
there's stories where he'll just stop practice. Someone will pass him the puck and it's not in the right spot that he wants it, and he'll just be like, "Nope, start over, do it again." Drives people crazy. At one point, he told them they had a vending machine. He's like, "Get this shit out of here." Why? We're athletes. Why are we eating this shit?
It's greatness right there.
It's exactly, and someone has to push that. And I don't even think Shedeur is even to that level yet. I bet you, if he starts balling out in the NFL, he'll start raising what he expects of the people around him even higher.
For sure.
But it's just crazy to think about and talk about just how far off people are. I also just realized that we are way behind on a break. So we'll get back to that in a second. But first, I want to give shout out to our friends over at UC Health. Last year when we were talking about the UC Health Challenge and staying healthy and all of that good stuff, I wasn't as locked in. This year I feel more confident giving this read.
I love that.
Because I'm up to a now 36-day streak on my Apple Watch of getting my movement in, getting my calories burned, getting my exercise in. So I'm practicing what I preach here. Of course, the DNVR Buffs Show is brought to you by UC Health, the official healthcare partner of the Colorado Buffaloes. And you can go learn more living like there is a tomorrow by going to uchealth.org for more info. UC Health, live extraordinary. Keep getting that work in, guys. do something every day to try and be healthy. And like I said, I can say that confidently now.
We'll love to hear that, bro. We love growth. We love evolution, especially when it comes to our health, bro. But it's an action-packed night in the sports world, the American sports world tonight. There's a pretty healthy NHL slate. The NBA slate is cracking. At least 8 games tonight. The Nuggets are back here in Denver tonight, hosting the Sacramento Kings. Did you see the Lakers last night, bro? The Lakers kind of balled out last night.
Nope, I didn't. What happened? I'm being dead serious.
Luka and LeBron each had 30+. It was just
okay.
It's looking scary, bro. But
don't burn out too early.
Good point. But I think LeBron know what he's doing. I feel like he's been around this block a couple of times. But whether you're betting on the Nuggets or your favorite NBA or NHL team, the place to do it is Bet365. Breaking news from Bet365. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5. Win or lose. Sign up, use the code DNVR365, deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets. If your bet wins or loses, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Also, on the Bet365 note, I told this story on the Bronco show, so anyone who already heard it, sorry. I've been trying to be better about sharing my betting premonitions with people.
That'd be nice, bro.
Last night, I'm laying down, eyes kind of closed. I'm about to pass out. Boom, I jolt awake. I got to take Shane Lowry to win the Arnold Palmer Invitational this weekend. Got up my phone.
Okay.
Put it in. Plus 4,500 on Bet365 right now. You can get a 30% boost on that, so that's whatever. Plus 6,000. Shane Lowry to win the Arnold Palmer Invitational.
Fire.
Could fall flat. But all I'm telling you is what came to my mind this morning. Last night, actually.
Oh, man. Shane really liked that, bro? Where'd that come from? You know a lot about Shane, or you just
I'm pretty locked in on professional golf. Shane Lowry, an Irish golfer.
I like that.
He can move it. He can get the ball around.
He can move it.
Anyway, someone in the comments also just asked, when are we getting our YouTube plaque? Boom. Right,
there it is right
there.
Oh, yeah. Honey K. Yeah,
Kevin said, RK, make sure he's busy during Laker games. Honestly, I don't watch any basketball, hockey, or baseball unless my team is playing. Or it's like deep into the playoffs.
You shouldn't really admit that out loud.
Okay.
No, I feel you though. I mean, honestly, too, it sucks with the Lakers. I mean, I don't claim to watch every Laker game, especially because it's hard with time difference. You know what I'm saying? Most of the games start at 8:30, 9 o'clock our time, which is tough. But I kind of heard you last week when I was like, bro, the Lakers are winning it all right now. When you answered, it kind of sounded like you're coming to terms with that idea too. I'm not gonna lie.
No shot.
Like obviously you don't want it to happen, but
no.
in the back of your mind, you're like, there's a chance.
Literally, what I said to you is they better hope they don't see the Nuggets.
True,
but that sounds like I'm coming to terms with it.
I don't know, bro. That didn't really sound like you didn't really say that with a lot of bass in your voice, bro. I don't know.
Wow. Yeah, so I don't think the Lakers are going to even come close to winning the championship.
That's all right.
But hey, we're getting to the part of the year where I'll start watching a little more. It's just, I'd rather watch YouTube.
It's hard to watch NBA before the All-Star break.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. I feel you.
The NHL one, I'm like NBA, if there's like a great TNT game on, maybe I'll tune in for the fourth quarter. But I don't know. It doesn't get me going unless I get action on it at Bet365.
Say less.
All right.
Let's hop into a preview.
Let's do it. Last one before special teams.
It's crazy, bro.
Special teams was going to be pretty brief.
Facts. Or maybe not. You never know.
Sure.
We might have a lot to talk about there. But we are on to the defensive back portion of our position spring preview of the Colorado Buffaloes. We're talking the defensive backs, which, again, like I think is one of, if not the best, most talented, maybe not the deepest, but definitely the most talented, one of the most talented positions on this team. Let's get into it. Let's start with the returning cornerbacks that we know about. Obviously, DJ McKinney, who was a dog last year after transferring in from Oklahoma State, starting every game opposite of Travis Hunter, got a lot of targets his way and performed pretty well. Was one of the highest tacklers on the team as well. Preston Hodge, who's back after transferring in from Liberty last offseason, missed the latter part of this past season with an injury, but was really good at times and really solidified that nickel corner kind of slot corner spot for this defense. Colton Hood is obviously back, who kind of really operated as that cornerback 4 behind that trio, and Travis Hunter last year, who were all really high on a potential breakout star after transferring in from Auburn last offseason. We got Isaiah Hodge, the two-way demon receiver and cornerback. Ivan Yates, who transferred in, I believe, from Furman last offseason, is also back as well. What do you think about that group there, those 5 guys at cornerback?
I mean, I love it. You obviously have Isaiah as kind of a dark horse there, a wild card. Another thing, like we were kind of talking about with Quincy Wiggins, although I'd say Isaiah's done a little bit more on the field. But it's like, if Isaiah Hodge ends up being a baller, now the opposing teams have real problems. And they already have problems with the top 3. That top 3 is no joke. The world is going to know the name Colton Hood by the end of next football season.
100%, bro.
He is incredibly twitchy. He has long speed. He has ability to break on the ball. He's a demon with the ball in his hands. He has everything, in my opinion. And if you don't believe me, go watch the Arizona game, because Travis Hunter was injured and Colton Hood was left with the matchup of future first-round pick Tetero McMillan.
Yep.
That should have been a problem for Colorado, that they didn't have their Heisman Trophy winner covering Tetero McMillan. He was invisible.
3 catches, I believe.
Yeah.
30-some yards, I believe.
Yes. Invisible.
And
the all-22 of watching Colton damn near magnetized to Tetero McMillan will have you so high on Colton Hood. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to even go. I'm as high as you could possibly be on Colton.
Not to mention he picked off Afita as he was targeting T-Mac in that game as well.
Yes,
and Danner took it to the crib.
Yes. Yes. One wrong move on the 5-yard line, or else he's in. I'm so excited for Colton Hood.
So am I, man. And we kind of talked about this, alluded to this a little bit yesterday, but I don't claim to know every starting cornerback trio in the Big 12 or in college football for that matter. But if there is one better than this Colorado trio, I would love to see it.
Yeah.
I would love to hear those names and watch that film, because again, I've seen these 3 dudes go through a full season, being coached by Coach Prime and Kevin Mathis under Robert Livingston, the defensive coordinator, and absolutely, lock dudes down at different points. Again, the experience that DJ McKinney had playing opposite of Travis Hunter, when opponents aren't trying to throw at Travis Hunter, so where are they going to go? At number 8. And time after time, he stood in there, was one of the Big 12 leaders in pass deflections. I think he had maybe only 1 or 2 fewer than Travis did this past season, which kind of speaks to how often he was around the football, consistently making tackles. He's really bulked up this offseason too, to begin with, to go along with his 6'1", 6'2", damn near 6'3" frame. That's a future NFL player. And so was Colton Hood, like you mentioned. I mean, his speed and ability to just literally stick to receivers on any route is uncanny. And again, when he gets around the football too, like he's making plays. That Kansas State interception off of Preston Hodge tip, by the way, was one of the most electric plays of the entire season. That roar from that Folsom Field crowd is something that I'll never forget on that play.
Speaking of things that wake me up in the middle of the night, it's that game.
And Preston Hodge, this is somebody who I feel like a lot of people probably expected to be going to the NFL. But again, because of that extra JUCO rule, that JUCO rule that allowed guys to get an extra year of eligibility, Preston Hodge is back. And this is somebody who, again, has played a lot of football, who was a starter, every game starter last year for Colorado before he got injured late in the year. And again, that slot corner position, that nickel corner position is so valuable, because those are typically opponents' offense's best route runners. They put them in the slot, to run those in-breaking routes, those speed outs, those slot fades, stuff like that. And Preston Hodge is really adept at locking those routes up. And obviously he was a dog last year as well. I'm excited to get him back for kind of his last hurrah before, he heads off to the NFL.
Totally. I mean, quickly on DJ, I felt he got so much better as the season went on. And he already came in. I mean, he had a great
Yes.
freshman year at Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
But by the end of last season, I would watch DJ for a full play. Especially because my guy B-Bads is like DJ's biggest fan. He'd be like, watch DJ on this play. And like, he's just so technically sound. He has an understanding of the advantages that his length gives him and is able to use that. And then Preston.
Sorry, that comment from Reef is just so funny.
Avery Johnson was also not that good the rest of the season. Just saying. You had your moment, and then the pendulum swung back towards me.
I don't know. You look at the season stats; he was pretty good, but I we don't gotta go down that path right now.
Kansas State underachieved as a team after that game. I would just say. Anyways, Preston Hodge. I think that sometimes people don't understand how difficult the slot corner position is.
Yeah, man.
It's the only corner position that you have to defend routes that break either way. You know what I mean?
Bro.
Think about that. When you're on the sideline, you just know they can't go that way.
Right.
Obviously, they could stop there, but
they literally say you use the sideline as your friend. That's the 13th or the 12th defender on the field.
Exactly. You can compete a back shoulder or a comeback route there, but you're not getting burned on the sideline.
Facts.
You can get burned any which way when you're in the slot. But there's a lot of it that's difficult. People will point to like the Baylor game and the touchdown that was scored on the slot fade there. And it's like, that was a perfect throw and an incredible diving catch in the end zone. That's basically the way that you had to beat Preston Hodge.
With a perfect throw and catch. Yep.
Yes. So slot corner is going to get beat more than anyone usually. But Preston was so technically sound in that position, made what I would argue is maybe the play of the year in terms of the way it turned the UCF game.
Yeah.
And that was really setting the stage for the rest of the season. So I'll say this about Preston Hodge. You would have been really, really, really hard pressed to find someone better than him if he weren't able to come back this year.
But that would be a huge question mark right now.
Yes.
Who's going to play in the slot corner right now if Preston Hodge wasn't returning? But that's a question mark that obviously they don't have to worry about at this point, which is a huge plus. Before we get into safeties, transfers, and the freshmen, just a couple other returners who some people might have been asking about. Braden Keith, Malachi Murphy was a freshman last year. Ben Boozy, Cole Mathis, Angel Lopez as well. Ben Boozy is a guy who I think has a future.
Yep.
This was somebody who was a demon in high school down there in Florida. Kind of benefited from Coach Prime wanting to obviously recruit that kind of Fort Myers area. Ben went through some things in high school that kind of derailed his recruitment, but obviously he ended up at Colorado. He's still here, went through his full freshman season, I believe, taking a red shirt. I think this is somebody, again, a year or two potentially down the line, getting coached the way he's going to be coached at Colorado in that strength and conditioning program. Ben Boozy is somebody who I think you should keep an eye on. Don't sleep on that young man.
All right, we'll get to the safeties here in just a second, but first I want to give a shout out to my good old Toyota. It's the official vehicle of DNVR, of course, and it's the official vehicle of me. And I was on the Broncos show this morning, and it was great hearing my guy Zach, who also drives a Toyota, carry the torch for us Toyota
awesome.
drivers. I just got to sit back and listen to him wax poetic about his Toyota. You guys have seen it in the comments. You can hear me say it a million times, but look at all the other people who drive Toyotas. In fact, someone just yesterday, I always get tagged in Toyota stuff on social media now. Someone just yesterday tagged me in a Toyota video from a fire where like everything was burnt down on like this block.
No way.
And this guy gets in and starts up his Toyota. I think it was a Tundra. He's like, there's nothing you can do to take down a Tundra, not even a fire. So that just shows you how durable these things are. They're the best. They're the best in the business, and you can check them out and test drive one for yourself by visiting a Front Range Toyota store at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota, again, the official vehicle of DNVR and a proud partner of the Colorado Buffaloes.
Man, as much as I love your Toyota, man, I really love Breck Brew, man. Y'all, if y'all don't know about the Breck Brew Ice Deck giveaway, let me tell you a little something, man. They're giving out complimentary food and drink, 2 VIP tickets on the glass, March 29th for the Colorado Avalanche versus the St. Louis Blues. All you got to do is go to breckbrew.com/ice-deck to enter. And also check out Breck Brew's new West Coast style IPA, the Ridge Runner. This double dry hop brew is inspired by the untamed beauty of Colorado's trails and creates notes of bright citrus and pine. You guys know we love our Breck brews here at DNVR. Breckenridge Brewery is also the official craft beer at DNVR. They also have a dope beer locator. Go check that out as well. Shout out to Breck Brew, our guys at Breckenridge Brewery.
All right. So to kind of tie a bow on our question posed in the headline, I think both of us think that at the very least, Colorado can have an argument for best cornerback room in the country.
Oh, 100%. And I tried to do a little bit of research today in terms of what were people talking about before this season and who was going to be one of the top, 10 or so secondaries in college football. And I found two lists. One was on On3, one was on PFF. Both had Arizona in that top 10 in terms of top secondaries in college football, which was a bit surprising to me.
Didn't they lose most of their guys?
I know Tacario Davis was back, right?
Oh,
he entered the portal
back,
after the season, but again, this was going into the 2024 season, by the way.
Right, okay. Well, they had Gunnar Maldonado at safety that people really liked.
And a lot of these were the SEC teams, like you see the Georgia, Oklahoma, obviously Oregon in the Big Ten, Michigan in the Big Ten as well, Ohio State, and Notre Dame was obviously a top pick as well in the Big Ten. So obviously really no love for the Big 12, and that just might be a bias that when we were ranking these secondaries in college football that people who rank it might have to get by that. Yeah, a team in the Big 12 might actually have one of the best secondaries in college football, but I think people will have no choice but to realize that once these games get going here in 2025. But let's talk a little bit about the safeties.
Let's do it.
Because there's some real talent, some real competition potentially as well. Returning guys, Carter Stoudemire, who we all know, played a huge role this past season, especially when Shedeur Sanders was out. And even when Shiloh returned, Carter still had quite a bit of a role. I believe he started and played the majority of the Alamo Bowl as well against BYU. He'll be back. Savion Riley was back, who came in, I believe, week one when Cameron Sillman-Craig came out with a head injury. Savion was the one to pop in for him, a former Vanderbilt transfer. RJ Johnson is also in the mix as well.
Made plays on special teams last year.
Yeah, man. He looks like a real player. I believe he got a decent amount of playing time at his previous stop. Was he Arkansas?
Arkansas.
Yeah, Arkansas, right. And then our guy, Ben Fittiseth, good friend of the show, a special teams absolute demon who wouldn't surprise me at all, was able to crack that safety rotation this year. What do you think about that group?
I like it. I think it was a really good baseline to build off of to bring in the transfers that they did. They gave a lot of, 600,000 miles is crazy. They gave a lot of, just moments that we talked about with some of the other returning players where it's like, okay, you can count on that guy. I think when when Cam went out, Savion had to come in.
Yeah.
It was tough on that team just because every snap of fall camp was Shiloh and Cam. And then all of a sudden in the first quarter, you've got to go and Savion has to come in.
I think it was first drive even.
Yes, first drive. So that being said, I thought Savion did well given the circumstances.
I thought so too.
RJ Johnson, I think, has a lot of potential. And Ben, he's been around the block.
You're right.
There's a lot of times in college where you'll notice someone who's been in the program for a long time gets a larger role in that senior season. So we'll look out for Ben there.
Yep.
But to me, this is about Tawfiq Bayard. He is going to be the, flag bearer of this group, the torch bearer. Like, he is coming in on a mission.
Yeah.
He's coming in with a exact vision in his mind of the role that he wants to play, and that's the Cam Sillman-Craig role.
Period.
And if he can play the Cam Sillman-Craig role, and Carter can play the Shiloh Sanders role, which he did a great job of doing last year.
Yeah.
Guess what? You got a great safeties group.
Oh, God, man. Yeah, Tawfiq, man, that's Shark 2.0 right there, man. He's talked about it. I talked to Cam about it. Cam has told me that he sees a lot of his game in Tawfiq's game, and that shows out a lot on film when you watch him this past season at UCF, consistently making plays in the backfield at the line of scrimmage. I mean, he is a problem in terms of a consistent one-on-one tackler in the open field in particular. So I agree, man. I think Tawfiq Byard is going to potentially lead this team in tackles the same way Cam did last year, the same way Shiloh did 2 years ago. I think that's certainly on the board, and he just seems to me like a defensive leader. Like if Martavius French or Reggie Hughes or somebody else in that linebacker room doesn't kind of grow into that leader quarterback of the defense, I can definitely see Tawfiq Byard having that role for sure. I think he's going to be one of the best players on this defense. You mentioned, obviously, Tawfiq coming in the transfer portal, Makari Seatbelt Vickers as well.
Was he like a corner safety hybrid?
I believe so, but I think he's going to land in that cornerback. I believe that's what he played at Oklahoma, and I think that's what he played in high school as well. So I think that's where he's going to land.
Okay, so you went all transfers here. I see.
Yeah, just the two transfers.
I thought you had him listed under safety transfer.
Yeah, just the two, because they just got the two transfers.
I think he will be on the corner side as well. Another one, if he pops, I mean,
yeah, man,
you're gonna need depth.
If he's your Colton Hood from last year,
that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah,
because look, both Preston and Travis missed time last year. Like, you need guys to come in and make plays for you,
right?
In relief. So, Isaiah Hodge again, kind of a wild card. And Makari Vickers, certainly a high ceiling.
Yeah. Colorado's roster officially has him listed as a cornerback.
Cool.
6'1", 190 from Tallahassee. And then obviously the last guy that we can mention in this room is the incoming freshman, the only freshman defensive back they brought in, Antonio Branch Jr., who I think has a high ceiling as well. Like, you see a lot of really a blend of Cam and Shiloh in his game when you watch him at high school. Like, somebody who likes to play around the box, somebody who isn't afraid to come downhill and put pads on ball carriers from that safety position. I think he's going to be coached the right way, and I think he has the right mentality to be a real player in the secondary.
Was he the film that we were watching where they were like lining him up at edge?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he would forget the box. Bro's playing on the line of scrimmage.
For real. As a player right there, man.
Excited for him, by the way, and I'll say it again. He ends up being a dog from day one. Great problem to have. And
you can't rule it out because, again, this coaching staff under Coach Prime, they play freshmen.
Yep.
Even on defense, you know what I'm saying? Like, that has happened each of the last 2 years. So that's going to be something to watch with Antonio Branch Jr. More or less interceptions for this defense than last year. What do you think? And obviously that has to do with that has to do more than just defensive backs. But hold on, I just had to pull out 1 second. I think it was 15.
I'll take the over.
15 interceptions last year.
I'll take the over, and I think Colton Hood puts up a crazy number.
Like 5, 6?
Yeah.
I can see that.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Teams had to play Colorado in such odd ways last year. Defensively, you never saw man coverage. And I think offensively, they were so afraid of throwing at Travis that there was just kind of like this safety that they were kind of attaching to their passing game.
Yeah.
I think you might see teams get a little more loose with the ball against Colorado this year and give these guys more opportunities.
That's a good point because you got to think about it. Like, pretty much every team's game plan offensively against Colorado was last year, keep Colorado's offense on the sideline. Let's run the football. Let's control the time of possession. And obviously that leads to more running the football and less putting the ball in the air in harm's way. So I think just from that standpoint, I think there will be more opportunities for interceptions for this defense.
You taking the over too?
Yeah, I think so. The BYU at 22.
Holy. I mean, that was their MO though. When you watch them, they were just like creating turnovers, opportunistic.
Seriously,
finding ways to win football games, and oftentimes turnovers are play into that.
So was Colton your bet to lead the team in interceptions here in 2025?
Yeah, I wish I could get odds on that. I would bet a lot.
You think the leading tackler comes from the secondary again? Like, as we mentioned, Cam led the team in tackles 2024. Shiloh led the team in 2023.
No,
it happens again. No,
if it was, I think it would be Tawfiq.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna say this year it finally comes from where it should come from, which is the linebacker position.
I could definitely see Martavius French kind of having that.
And wasn't Nakai like 3 behind or something, and he didn't play the
Exactly.
first 2 games?
If Makai played every game like he should have been, he would have definitely led the team in tackles for sure. Who's your sleeper in the room? After the top 3.
I'm going to say Isaiah Hodge.
I like
now,
that.
he might just end up being an offensive player, and that'll look dumb in hindsight, but that's where they started him, if I remember correctly, when he got to Colorado.
Yeah, I think so too.
And so, to me, going by Coach Prime's rules,
yeah.
you got to dominate at one position before you go to the next one. Tells me that he's done a really, really good job in practice playing in the secondary, and I'm excited to see what he can do.
Mine is seatbelt, bro.
Yeah, that was my other option.
I think it's Makari Vickers, bro. I think this staff has earned the benefit of the doubt in terms of recruiting that position out of the transfer portal. I'm going to say specifically out of the transfer portal because, again, you hit on Colton Hood, you hit on Preston Hodge. You know what I'm saying? You only bring in one defensive back or one cornerback, rather, out of the transfer portal, and that's Makari Vickers, who obviously, again, was at Oklahoma previously. This is a former 4-star recruit. I think with this Colorado coaching, being around these guys who have played a lot of football like DJ and Preston, I think Makari Vickers is kind of the sleeper in that room who could have a Colton Hood type role here in 2025 for the Buffs.
That would be sick. I mean, I'm a sucker for a good nickname.
For real.
As for the spring portal, I would be kind of surprised to see them add more than one total player in the secondary there.
Yeah. More than one, yeah, I'd be surprised if it was more than one. I can see them adding one, corner or safety, but more than one, that would take me by a bit of a surprise. I think that would take a couple guys leaving for that to happen.
All right, let's get to the Toyota chat, talk to the people here.
Send your questions in.
First of all, bro, I got to tell you, your flannel is really reminding me. So if Jake was here, he'd be like, that's a New Mexico thing. But when I was growing up, we had a restaurant down the street from us called Efren's. In my opinion, best Mexican food in Boulder. And I would order my burrito Christmas style. It's half green chili, half red chili. You got the Christmas style flannel.
That's
on.
hilarious.
Now I just go full green chili.
That's some New Mexico shit, bro.
It is. It is. It totally is. I'm telling you. Jake's probably watching right now. Just clenching his fist.
You think Jake's walking right now?
No. I hope Jake's okay. We haven't heard from him in days.
I talked to him this morning.
Okay, good.
Talked to him this morning.
He's not responding in the group chats. I should
right.
say.
Facts. Oh, man.
All right. What do we got? Let's start here with Michael, who says, watching live from Johannesburg, South Africa.
Sheesh.
Crazy. Who invites the players to the Combine, the NFL office or individual teams? There's like a team of people who work on the Combine who deal with the invites similarly to the Senior Bowl. I don't know if this is true, but I'm guessing like if you're a team that really wanted you wanted to see a guy there, you could submit it and just say, hey, we'd love to see this guy. And if multiple teams said that, then they would see him. But that's just a guess.
Sounds right to me. I'm not sure.
All right, next one from 5280 Ivan. Who do we think gets an L and a D heading into week 1 next year?
We got to do a segment on that.
Great question. That is a
segment
really
in the can for that.
Yeah. Okay, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Great,
Yep.
great. We'll talk more about it. I'll say this. If either of those quarterbacks gets one of those letters and another one doesn't,
a lot will be made of that.
Exactly. I'm gonna tell
a
you
lot
something.
will be made of that.
It'd be interesting. Like, what if both get it?
Yeah. Or what if one gets an L, one gets a D? And, and then it would be like, which one means more?
Damn.
I saw somebody comment on their show yesterday, though, like we should do a segment on like who's going to wear 1, 2, 12, and 21.
Someone, no one, and no one.
Really?
Yeah. No one's getting 2, 12, or 21.
That's kind of crazy. I mean, I get it, but like, damn, those are 3 really good numbers that just nobody can wear.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Maybe on defense you could get 2.
Wow. I hadn't really thought about that. That'd be interesting to see if that's really what happens.
There's a less than 0 chance that 12 has been worn for the last time at Colorado. Or greater than 0 chance.
Yeah. I would get that.
It'd be really weird. There had only ever been one number truly retired, and it became unretired.
Right.
So they don't really do that much in college. But yeah, no one's getting those numbers. Someone might be able to get one, even though that was retired for most of last year.
Facts.
By Coach Prime. But no one's getting those other ones. Not this year, at least.
Interesting. Whose spot does Vickers take? SWFL agent David asks. Hood, DJ, Hodge, or safety? I don't think he really takes anybody's spot. No. Like I said, I think we were talking about him in potentially a Colton Hood role, like how Colton played in 2024. Injuries happen, right? We would love for those top 3 corners to play every game here in 2025, but the odds say that that's probably not going to happen. So I can see Makari kind of being that 4th cornerback. And sometimes maybe you might even need 4 cornerbacks on the field at one time. He could potentially play that role as well. But if one of those guys can't go, that's where I can see Vickers kind of getting a role, playing a role.
DB said Tafik Byard is wearing 12. I'll believe that when I see it for real. I know some of these guys,
like the media pictures,
took pictures and stuff in certain uniforms, but
that'd be crazy.
Why wouldn't he go 7?
That's what he wore at UCF?
No,
or USF? No,
that's what he wants to follow in Cam's footsteps.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, he did wear 12 at South Florida. True.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he did wear 12 at South Florida. Now that I think about it, yep. I can see it. Like I said, I'd be kind of shocked if I don't know. I'd get it, but I'd be kind of surprised if they really said that. Yeah, nobody's wearing 2 or 12 or 21.
21's an interesting one.
Yes,
where if I were in Coach Prime's shoes, and there's several reasons why I'm not, I think I would give that out. You remember the I guess I don't know what the color was. The orange visor at Miami. It was given out to just the biggest dog on the team got the orange visor.
For sure.
That's what I would do if I was Prime, but I would just do it with the DBs. Like whoever has the best spring and maybe even into the fall gets awarded with the 21 jersey.
That'd be cool.
And it's like, I'm not giving this to anyone unless they put a stamp on the fact that they're not going to do it dirty.
Facts. You can't just be giving the numbers out.
No. Next one from Exhibit says, do you think this new CU team is going to be better than last year? It's really hard to say that. I think that there are aspects of the game that they're certainly going to be better than last year, and that could potentially carry them to a better record. Mm-hmm. But first of all, 9 wins is a lot.
Yes, it is.
And
Very
second
impressive.
of all, 2 should be top 5 picks. Leaving anyone's team is really hard to replace. But there's a lot of change in the conference as a whole.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of opportunity at the top of the conference. So it's going to, I'll say this a lot between now and kickoff. It's going to come down to the margins. A kick off a post, a fumble that bounces inbounds instead of out of bounds. Little things like that will be the difference. But I think this team's going to be in games similarly to the way that last year's team was.
I agree with a lot of what you said. It's hard for a team losing a Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders to be better the next year, but I think this team in 2025 has a chance to be more complete, more balanced, both in terms of the run pass breakdown and both offensively and defensively balanced. So from that standpoint, I agree with you. I think it's on the table that this team gets back to 9 wins.
Yeah.
Especially at this Big 12. I think that's definitely on the table. So, yeah, we'll see. I think a lot of it will come down to coaching as well, in terms of you talking about the margins and how maybe a fumble breaks loose or something, or how a ball kind of lands. I think coaching will obviously will play a big role in how this season ends up as well.
Next one is from Rainey. Do you think Julian Lewis leaves if he doesn't start this year? No.
No, I don't think so either.
That being said, I think he's going to start. Next one from Rev says, Scotty and RK, I hope you're keeping receipts, because as soon as 2 does well in the NFL, the bandwagon is going to be crazy.
Jake had
I've
perfect tweet about this scenario. I think like last week.
What'd he say?
He goes, I gotta go find it, but it was something to the effect of like,
oh, he said if Shedeur is
good in the NFL, yeah, I'm gonna be unsufferable on this app every weekend, and that's I feel it for sure.
So, this is actually funny because several drinks in on New Year's Eve, Allie put a camera in my face and said, "What's your New Year's resolution?" And I said, "Keep more receipts and be more petty." I was obviously joking.
No, you weren't.
As listen. As I've matured in the 3 months since then, I'm kind of like backing off that part of my Twitter game. The negative energy that comes from fighting with people on Twitter is very toxic and draining. So I'm starting with this by saying I'm trying to do that less. With that being said, my Shedeur receipts folder is absolutely stocked.
Stuffed to the brim.
And that might just be like my swan song of receipts.
That's hilarious. Peasy.
Don Peasy. Long time no chat, fellas. Been in the middle of a business acquisition. Good luck. And now catching up on these episodes. Me and the lady will be in Boulder in a few months. Where should we go? Hope y'all are doing well. Well, especially because I'm thinking about it now because of Scotty's flannel. You should go to Efren's.
It's in Boulder?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
What'd you say, Dion? Yeah, Village Coffee Shop for breakfast. Went there with Jake for his first time recently. I mean, obviously, you're going to want to go see Pearl Street. You're going to want to walk around the hill. If you're a hiking type of people, or maybe you aren't, but you want to be for a weekend, I recommend Settlers Park as a hike. It's super, super, super easy, and has some really cool views. There's a part of it that can be challenging if you want to like basically like climb up the back of this rock and see over it to see the view. But regardless, it's like a mile, nothing crazy.
Sounds smooth.
And not too steep or anything like that. All right. So you got anything else on your mind?
Yeah, bro. In reference to our shower conversation yesterday, do you, in the shower, do you use a washcloth?
I knew this was coming.
Do you use a loofah or do you just use the hand? Bar soap or something?
It really depends.
Oh.
I've used it all.
Right.
I have to say, the washcloth thing is kind of crazy, because it's so logical.
Yeah.
But for some reason, white people just aren't up to speed on that
I'm
yet.
glad you know that, bro. That's kind of where I was going. Because this has kind of been like a racial like line in the sand. It's like, do you use the washcloth? They do not.
So I have been trying to bring that into my life because it just makes so much sense.
It really does, bro.
I started it at so I heard this debate, this same thing with like white people aren't using washcloths,
right.
like that at least. And I was at a hotel where there's just like unlimited washcloths. So I was like, let me try this. I was like, what have we been doing?
Can't go back.
But I don't have enough washcloths at my house to stay. So I just need to up my washcloth game.
For sure.
Do you use the same one?
Yeah, that's the thing is.
Do one every day?
That was going to be my next question.
I'm going to do one every day.
Okay, well, I just can't. I don't do laundry enough for all
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
I don't have the patience or the resources to use a new one every day. But like, yeah, it can't get too. You can't use it too long now. Like, I would say like. I don't even know. I don't want to say it crazy.
You're about to say something that's going to get you dragged.
But like probably like 4 showers max on the same washcloth. You feel me? Like that's probably the longest you can go.
So my problem is I'm in between you guys. I'm with Alyssa. I feel like I need a new one every day. But I don't have enough washcloths to keep that up.
Don't got the resources
or enough laundry being done.
So it's tough,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, we just need to up the game in the crib.
a fresh one every day does sound like elite vibes. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But, you know, They be like that sometimes.
When we're living in luxury.
Yeah, one day.
Yeah, someone
day
will
I'll
just
get
be
there.
putting fresh towel, fresh washcloth every day.
You be doing the laundry at home?
No.
Is that a shared responsibility?
That's Allie and I split. She hates dishes. I hate laundry.
Nice.
Boom.
Nice.
And the good thing is that both of us are pretty bad at doing our responsibility. But we have to let each other off the hook. It's like, you can't get on me for the dishes when the laundry pile's overflowing and vice versa.
I'm dead. Good talk.
All right, that was good. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you for throwing that wrench in at the last 2 minutes of the show. And we will be back with you tomorrow, wrapping up the previews and talking more Buffs. Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.